Hey guys, this is Gabe. I'm one of the designers on Hoda. We've just updated the game, adding both gear and a new Mythic rarity, so we wanted to give you a quick overview on how everything works. Alright, we'll get started. We'll go ahead and jump into the hero screen here. And here you can already see the first change, which is that the old unknown wisps are now Mythic wisps, which is the purple color heroes here. Because Mythic is now a proper rarity, they sort to the top of the hero inventory above legendary heroes now. Mythic rarity is different from other rarities, because heroes don't start at Mythic rarity, except for wisps, of course. The way you get a Mythic hero is by upgrading them from legendary to Mythic, and the way you do that is through gear. So let's take a look at how gear works, and how you can ultimately upgrade your legendary heroes to Mythic rarity. Okay, so when I open a hero card, we can now see some slots hanging off the right side of it here, which are for gear that you want to equip on this hero. Plus there's this purple slot at the bottom that is locked at first. We'll get to that in a bit. Legendary heroes like this get 3 gear slots, epic heroes get 2 gear slots, and rare heroes get 1 gear slot. Common and uncommon heroes don't get gear. Alright, we'll switch back to our legendary hero here. So if we select one of these gear slots, it'll open our gear inventory over on the left so we can look through and find the gear that we want to equip on this hero. Now, keep in mind that these slots have no specific limitations. Any slot can take any type of gear, and you also don't have to unlock these slots. You could equip gear in all 3 of them right off the bat with a hero at, tier 1, level 1. The only limitations are that you can't put 2 of the same piece of gear on a hero, so no duplicate gear. And of course, individual pieces of gear have their own limitations for what heroes you're allowed to equip it on. So let's look at our options over here for Hawk. We've got a bunch of gear which sorts by rarity, just like heroes. We can select a piece of gear to see all the information about it, like the name of this one, Maul of Tacitus, the rarity, which type of heroes it's limited to. So for this one, it's limited to warriors and Tevinters, so as long as the hero is either a warrior or a Tevinter, they can equip this piece of gear. Can kind of tap around to see some other ones. That one's for mages, rogues, Kunari, warriors, Templars. This one is for all heroes, so about maybe 75% of them have some sort of limitations, but several of them don't have any limitation. You can equip them on pretty much anybody. The easier way of finding gear for the particular hero that you're trying to equip is to go to the filters, and there's now this equipable filter up here. So now it's showing only the gear that can be equipped on the currently selected hero. Also notice that you can use this button here at the top right of the inventory to swap back and forth between your hero and your gear inventories. In fact, you can view your gear inventory without even selecting a hero, right? So let me back out here. I'll go into, I'm still in the equipable filter, so of course it's not showing me anything. So now I don't have a hero selected, but I can still see my gear, and if I select a piece of gear, I just don't have the equip button there at the bottom. But once I select a hero, select a slot, back out and reselect something, now I get the equip button and I can equip this gear on this hero if I want to. Also, there's that sell button there at the bottom. You can sell gear for gold, and the amount of gold you get depends on the rarity of the gear. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip a piece of gear. Maul of Tacitus, sure, we'll put that on Hawk. It's not really the kind of thing she would use, but that's alright. Okay, so we've equipped a piece of gear, and by the way, this works just like fortifications, right? That warning, if you read that really quickly, basically said that once gear is equipped, it can't be removed. It can only be replaced by another piece of gear. It's, like I said, just like fortifications. So you can't pull a piece of gear off, but you can replace it with a new piece of gear. All right, so we've accepted our fate. Now we've got 1 piece of gear assigned to Hawk, and let's go ahead and I want to see what other options I've got. So we can use the store button at the bottom of the gear inventory to hop straight into the store. And let me back out to the hub here real quick so you can see this third category. This used to be runes, right? But now it's items because it combines both gear and runes into a single category. So we go into that. If we scroll over to the right, we can see the original rune packs that are still there. All right, so we've got 3 packs here that give us 1, 2, and 3 pieces of gear, and each higher pack has better odds at higher rarity gear. We'll go ahead and buy a Journeyman pack, which gives us 2 pieces of gear. Oh, we got a legendary. Okay, so we got a Serum of Ambition and a Soother's Sapphire. All right, and we'll be done with that. And just for good measure, we'll get a Masterwork gear pack as well. Templar Commander Pauldron. Vanguard armor, I think we already had one of those. And a Dalish ring. Alright, so we'll go back to our hero screen here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put something else on Hawk. We'll just go to the equipable filter again, and let's put the Vanguard armor on. Yes. And we'll do the Scout hat. So at any time now, I can select each of these pieces of gear that I've got on Hawk to see, as a reminder, what they do. The Scout hat gives him stun resist and 3% power for rogue allies. The Vanguard armor gives damage resist to allies. Maul of Tacitus gives her power as well as a negative stun resist to enemies. All right, so now we can see that because we equipped all 3 of these gear slots, we have this new slot that's unlocked at the bottom that has an icon of a book in it. This slot is used to evolve the hero to mythic rarity, and to do that it requires one very specific item called a Tome of Ascension. Now, Tomes of Ascension are rare. We're going to be dropping them in lots of places, but don't expect them to be raining from the sky, right? Your best shot is to drop a tome from a Grand Champion pack. You can also drop them from any of the 3 gear packs that we just looked at, and you have a shot at dropping them from weekly quests. Just the weekly ones, not the daily ones or the ones that are running at all times, like the Banished Plane. And of course, you may be seeing tomes show up as top ranked rewards in PvP events and things like that. Okay, so there are no other limitations to making a hero mythic, so let's go ahead and do it. If we select the tome slot, we can see that I have 1 Tome of Ascension, and it explains what benefits I get from using the tome and evolving the hero to mythic. The hero gets +5 max levels, so for example, for a 1-star legendary hero will no longer max out at level 85, they can now go to level 90 and get the subsequent stat boosts for that. And then, as it says here, the tome slot turns into another gear slot, so the hero will now have 4 gear slots. Also, this isn't mentioned in this window, but mythic heroes get higher fortification bonuses than legendary heroes do, and they get a higher squad faction bonus. So mythics now get +6% instead of the 5% that you got from legendaries. Okay, I'm going to use one of my tomes to make this hero mythic. And boom, the tome slot becomes an empty gear slot, and we see the nameplate up here is now purple. If we switch back over to our hero inventory, we can see the Hawk portrait is now purple, and back out. Best of all, the hero base is now purple and all glowy and awesome. All right, let's go ahead and, I should probably mention, we moved the stars on the bases so that you could see them better, because they were really hard to see. We updated these bases quite a bit. We added some effects, and we added these kind of cracked, glowy things on them. And that made it even harder to see the stars than it used to be. So we moved them to the black area in the center so they read a lot better. It's just a lot easier to see how many stars each hero is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put something into this last slot. I've only got 1 thing that's equipable, so we'll do this. Yes. And there we go. Battlemaster Marion Hawk now has a full complement of gear. Of course, I can replace this gear like I mentioned earlier, and as I get better gear, I can put new gear into these slots. Remember also that heroes keep their star rating when they ascend to mythic rarity, so a 1-star legendary becomes a 1-star mythic, 2-star becomes a 2-star mythic, and same for 3-star. We also added some filters to the hero inventory. First, we've got epic and legendary filters. Actually, this now scrolls up and down, right? So I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. So you can see now we've got epic and legendary hero filters if you want to show just those heroes. We've also got gear equipped and no gear equipped filters. so that it's easier to say, well, here's the 2 heroes that I've got gear equipped on. This can be really helpful, especially if you have multiple versions of a hero, maybe one that you're equipping gear and kind of leveling them up with gear, and one that you're not. So it's easier to find the non-gear equipped versions that you might want to consume or fortify with. Though there are warning messages now that will appear if you attempt to consume or fortify a hero that has gear equipped, just to make sure that that's the version of the hero that you meant to grab. Now the gallery will actually update your legendary heroes even if you've already evolved them to mythic rarity. So, for example, if you have a tier 1 legendary hero that you evolve to mythic, then you level that mythic hero up to tier 2. The gallery will actually unlock the tier 2 legendary version of that hero as if you'd earned it, since that would, of course, be super annoying to have to unlock those separately. In the next update, we'll start tracking mythic rarity individually in the gallery, so you can see which heroes you've made mythic already. Gear will now be dropping from both champion and grand champion packs, and there will be new gear, in each champion packs each week. And there are new gear guarantees in the packs, similar to the hero guarantees that we already have. We're also adding in an in-game guide in the news feed just on how all of that works, how all the guarantees and the pack rules and the dupe rules and things like that work, so that you can always refer back to it if you need to. All right, I think that covers the major stuff in this update. We hope you guys like these changes. If you have questions, comments, concerns, hit us up on the forums. I'm Getty Poppy there. We've got Game of Jones, our community manager, and Storklord, one of the other designers. We'll try to answer your questions whenever we can. As always, we've got more big stuff planned for our next major update, and we'll get it out just as soon as we can. All right, thanks, guys.